everybody, welcome to another episode of Let's All Go to the Trailers. My name is Brandon Jones, I am your host, and I am wonderfully joined by Mr. Kyle Bosman.
Hi everybody.
And Mr. Ryan Stevens.
Howdy ho.
Once again, for another week of looking at 3 trailers, talking about them, and you got a Band-Aid that's fallen off there, Ryan. That's super gross.
Well, thankfully this is like radio.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a wound for radio.
You don't need to see Ryan's gross Band-Aid. You have any bandages you need to take care of before we get started, Kyle?
Yeah, I want to bandage up how you announced the name of the show this week. Let's all go to the trailers, I think is how you said it.
Right.
It's let's all go to the trailers.
Let's all go to the trailers. And just for people that don't know, that is a reference to drive-ins. Not drive-thrus, but drive-ins, where people used to go watch movies.
Like in the Flintstones?
And they would sing a song that they would say, let's all go to the lobby to get a snack. And so the reverse of that is, no, let's not go to the lobby, let's all go to the trailers. But some people actually don't know that. I thought that was an obvious reference, but
It's because we're old.
The younger gen might need a little bit of information there. So that's what that means, and let's get to it.
Gotham, this is your only warning.
Not to monopolize the scene with Batman trailers, but we got another Batman trailer. And once again, I don't want to go on too much about this. Ryan, you started talking about Batman last week, so Kyle, I'm going to direct your attention to Batman this week. What do you think?
This was cool. It was weird having this come immediately after that DLC announcement last week. Here's the new game. What excites me the most about this game is that it is next-gen only, supposedly. And so here it is. Here's what to get hyped for. Here's your next-gen Batman, is what, to me, excites me most. The trailer itself just kind of seems like Batman being Batman. I don't know what what is significant about this trailer, and I'm hoping you could fill that in, actually.
I think one of the things that I noticed during the trailer that got me really excited, that they actually made a point to tell you directly in the text at the end of the trailer, is every time we've had these awesome Batman games starting with Asylum, there's always been some kind of twist. So in the first game, it was now you're going to be stuck in the Asylum. It's like Metroid Prime. And then the second game was like, no, now it's in the city. It's kind of like Escape from New York. And the third one was like, oh, it's the origins. So you're going to see a lot of this stuff start from the beginning. And this one's like, you're Batman. There's no twist. There's not, like, yeah, we have the Batmobile this time, but that's kind of like the last piece coming together of, like, you're not going to miss anything. There's not going to be anything in this game where you're like, oh, I wish I could do this. They're like, we have that covered. This is going to be every last idea we ever had about making a Batman game, all put into this next-gen version, and then we're bowing out, we're done. So that's exciting to me.
Yeah, I think car-wise is like, the Batmobile had like a cameo in Asylum, and people were happy with that, but I think now, as you said, you saw it kind of went from, you said Metroid Prime to, let's say, maybe an Assassin's Creed. I think maybe, I don't want to say GTA, but the idea of like vehicles is something, and I think the transitions from the vehicles, I don't know if anyone ever played Pursuit Force, or what was that GTA game in Hong Kong a couple years ago?
Chinatown Wars?
No.
Oh yeah, Sleeping Dogs.
Sleeping Dogs,
okay,
like the
yeah.
kind of the jumping from
could
car to
jump
car
between
combat.
cars.
I love the transitions here, and I thought it was a smart move that they showed Two-Face getting into a hot rod, showing you that like cars are definitely a big deal. But just in the way that like Batman doesn't use guns, I'm curious if relying on the Batmobile, like gameplay wise, maybe in the end maybe lessen things. I'm hoping it does, and I think it's actually pretty awesome. But I'm a little bit cautious about it. And then I'm of course curious about the the ending from City, with the ambiguous stuff with the Joker and Harley Quinn, and pre-order now.
Yeah.
Play as Harley Quinn. And it also had a weird vibe from the third movie, Dark Knight Rises. They're kind of trapped in the city, but this time they're kind of leaving the city.
Yeah, everybody's evacuating. City under siege.
And the father's will kind of made me, I understand what they were going for, the contrast, but it made me kind of grimace a little.
Yeah, the car line is terrible. He's like, don't use your money to buy fast cars and crazy clothes. I thought that was a little... a little too far.
Made me bare my teeth.
Do not be frivolous with this wealth. Please do not waste it all on fast cars and outrageous clothes and the pursuit of a destructive lifestyle.
And also, his dad was pretty young to be writing a will.
Well, I mean, but he did have a lot of money.
You don't have one?
So I think when you're that rich, when you literally have more money than anybody else in the city, then it's like, yeah, I should probably. Now that I have a child, then I have an heir. I need to.
Should also probably not like walk down Murder Alley.
Right.
If you're the richest guy in the city, but
maybe have like one person on security, just one. You can afford the gigantic mansion. Maybe have some way. I don't know. Bring a taser with you. Yeah, I had a couple of issues with the trailer. Again, I thought it was kind of cheesy. His dad laying everything out for him. Again, logistically, he's like, unfortunately, I won't see you grow up, Bruce. And it's like, well, you didn't know that when you wrote the will. I guess he's assuming that he's writing the will, therefore, if Bruce reads this someday, then that means he did die. But I thought that was a little hammy. But other than that, I mean, I'm just super excited because it's there. We have driven the Batmobile, but in like Batman racing games, or in like, you know, Batman Returns of the Super Nintendo had like that one Batmobile level. So it isn't just exciting for this franchise; it's exciting for Batman. Period. You know, to be able to. I'm hoping you can leave the Batmobile somewhere and go off at other places in the city and kind of see it on the map.
There'll be ramps. You'll get some sweet bat air.
Yeah,
I want some
bat
180s.
jumps.
That's Brandon. That's my least favorite thing about Batmobiles is when they start driving themselves. Like, I want only Batman to be able to drive the like. It's kind of like Iron Man's suits when he's just like, oh, and now they can just pilot themselves. It's like, then what makes you special? Like, what are you good at?
Well,
if this thing can just do it.
I think the Batmobile is kind of like a means to an end. Like, I don't think Batman driving is really like what he excels at. Like, when I think of Batman, I'm not like, God, that guy's a great driver.
That's fair.
I know this is a CG model though, but that is a nice looking render.
I love how the headlights are inside of the tires on the front wheels. It's really cool design.
And somebody mentioned he's like Bat Iron Man, which I really like.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping, there's some more armor plating or some different armor moves that come into it. Yeah, really exciting that it's just next gen. We've only seen a couple of villains, even though they're saying like everybody's pretty much coming out of the woodwork for this one. And you get to play as Harley Quinn, so.
Just for like bonus missions, though, it's that kind of thing.
Yeah. But I'm curious how that factors in. I mean, Catwoman was playable in Arkham City, and she actually played a more important role in the story. Like, she showed up in a lot, you know, even if you didn't play her missions.
Yeah, as long as you didn't buy the game used.
Curious how Harley is going to fit into the story as a villain, or maybe helping Batman or something, or I don't know. Because they certainly had a tease at the end of City. And this follows City, and that's actually the one thing that I did think was weird, is he looks younger to me than he did in City. He looks younger, he looks slimmer. And that might just be Blur, who did this trailer, kind of taking a creative license with the character models. But Two-Face looks a little different. Again, I don't know if that was just the render, but
and blue eyes.
I thought this
get
was
lost in those.
Right. I thought this was before City.
Yeah, I wrote
initially
down pre or post question mark, but I'm because you see the Joker gang and stuff. I don't know. I think it is after.
It is. It's been confirmed.
Okay.
It's after. It's
1 year after.
Because it's Rocksteady's. They're bowing out after this, so they're like, we want to do the big ending story. I bet like Batman will like quote unquote die at the end of it, and then after the credits, it's like, oh no, he didn't die. Because you know, the end of the Batman trilogy.
You should write that and put it in an envelope.
This counts as that.
Exactly. Yeah. There we go. We're stamping this with a date. If it's Batman and they don't screw it up, it immediately gets a 9 for me, and I will give it a 0.2 above a 9, so a 9.2. It's my official score. Mr. Bosman.
So, Brandon, I'm very excited about the game. As a trailer, like what you just told me about like this being Rocksteady's last game, they're going all out, this is their final Batman, that doesn't come across to me in the trailer. And so for that reason, this trailer is all flash and all Batmobile. I'm going to give it a 7.8.
All right.
Let's split the difference. 8.3. I think ever since the Hugo Strange CG trailer, like, I don't know, I'm expecting this kind of stuff. But I thought they really hit the nail on the head, like I said, with, you know, like, the car is going to be in it. But the dad's speech kind of lessens it a bit for me.
I was a little worried that this week could actually be light on trailers, and then I approached Kyle's desk to tell him that there's not that many good trailers this week, and he said, well, have you seen this Dragon Age one?
Yeah, it's another not really good trailer.
Like, the what? But this popped up while I was actually at Kyle's desk. And yeah, not a super great trailer, but...
It's an environment trailer. I mean, it is what it is. I've seen enough of these.
It's pretty. I mean, they wrote some voiceover for it. They had an actor read it. I don't know if that's the actor is actually going to be in the game or if this is a character we're supposed to know. But it was nice to have a little bit of subtext, a little bit of story going into it. But I think this looks damn gorgeous. What do you think, Kyle?
See, I actually really like this trailer because
of course
you're right. We just always disagree. I had very little interest in this Dragon Age game coming up until this point. This makes it seem real. This is the first time that like Dragon Age Inquisition feels like a kind of more real thing. And so there's something exciting about it. Look at the bubbling swamp over there. It makes it feel like, hey, it's coming. We're working on it, you know. And I mean, it's just some of these things are real pretty. You want to be in there. Because that's, I mean, like what games are about most of the time is like, hey, I get to be in that environment eventually, and it's cool giving you a preview of where you'll go.
Yeah, not the worst environment trailer. It's just these things in general. I mean, unless you're really invested, and I think Dragon Age 2 kind of turned me off, even though I have hopes for this one. I was like, okay, they get a lot of rain. There's some little wolf dudes. There's ballroom dancing.
There's ballroom dancing. What other game you played with ballroom dancing?
Dishonored.
Oh, okay. Touche, Mr. Stevens.
I think
No, I think there's a good variety of environments, you know, and they're not trying to do like the Mario thing where it's like there's the snow world, there's the lava world, there's the pipe world, but you know, I mean, well, there is a snow world, but I think it's an okay trailer, but I think environmental trailers are always going to be more for people that are rabid into the game than the general populace. Though they did some nice trappings, I shouldn't poo-poo it completely.
But I really enjoyed the Dragon Age games. I'm bummed they're not calling it Dragon Age 3. I guess they really want to continue doing these games forever, so they're just going to give it
Plus,
a little side name there.
Is it possible to transfer your save from a PlayStation 3 to a PlayStation 4 or Xbox 360, Xbox One?
Not yet, unless they do some weird thing with the cloud.
Yeah. Maybe they could do that, because I could see that as a reason why it's not Dragon Age 3. You know, it's just like these things won't transfer, so let's just reboot right here.
We typically get environment trailers later on, though. It's like, this is interesting, it is an environment trailer, but it is kind of the coming out party for the engine, because we haven't really seen anything.
There was a bit at PAX.
Okay. It's just it's nice for them to be like, okay, we are not getting into the story yet. We're not getting into gameplay. We're not really getting into like the very specifics. But like you were saying, we're working on it, and this is what you can kind of get a taste of what it's going to be, especially for next gen. Like I think this is what people want. It's kind of like the Batmobile in Batman. It's like they really focused on that because like when that Batmobile came up out of the ground, it was like, oh, they did it, you know. So everybody's seeing this.
Yeah, I get that.
You know, it's like, oh, okay, they're actually. It is gonna kind of be an open worldy thing, which it sounds like that's what they're going for. It just The Witcher has certainly shown a lot of gameplay, so I think they're trying to compete a little bit as far as RPGs go. Are those games coming out anywhere close to each other this year?
I'm gonna guess Witcher.
Are we getting Dragon Age this year?
Was that at the end of the trailer? I don't think so.
No, no date on this.
There's so many dates at the end of these trailers. I'm getting them confused. But who knows? We could be surprised. I mean, what else has BioWare been doing other than
get a little party tease there? You got the 4 of them just running through town. Did you play any of the Dragon Age games, Kyle?
I've never played a Dragon Age game. Brand, what's the significance of that weightlifting statue? We see him 3 times.
The weightlifting statue?
This trailer begins with a guy like lifting weights.
Oh, okay.
That's a big statue of a man lifting. I mean,
so
when
Miguel reviewed the games, he said, you know, weightlifting is the best, and he wrote in, and they were like, yeah.
Well, you know, dwarves are upset about their height issues, and so they're really big on strength, and so he's probably just like, look how much I can weigh.
Yeah.
Or I can lift.
And like, let's make a monument to that man who could lift weights.
Yeah, you should have seen it at the time when he first lifted that. It was a big deal. I mean, people freaked out, and so they just really wanted to encapsulate that and remember that for all times. Yeah, Dragon Age. Yeah, I'll give it a 7.5 because even though it's pretty, it's not that amazing of a story thing, and I wouldn't say it got me maybe a little bit more excited to play the game, but I was probably going to play this anyway because I really liked 1 and 2. Cal?
Shoot, that's a really good score. I'll give it a straight 7. It is a good trailer, but it should be doing so much more for it to be a great trailer.
You guys have softened my hornet nest that is my heart, and I'll give it a 6.5.
I was the best in what I did.
Watch Dogz.
Yeah.
Sorry, I kind of hacked into your intro here.
Oh, snap. This is another one that popped up the same day Dragon Age did, kind of near the end of the week. And, we'll watch it just because it's Watch Dogs, and we haven't talked about that game yet on this show. But I got kind of excited about this. It was nice to see some context put to this game, a little bit of backstory. This guy is, extremely generic. I don't know about a whole game full of this guy just going and talking to people. You know, it's nice to actually see his face. I think there's one shot actually that we get because like right in there is kind of in the shadow, but we do get a really good shot of his mug. In this game, but we've seen her before. We've seen a lot of these characters, but it's just kind of nice to be like, okay, he's an actual person, not just someone we're looking at through security cameras. But Watch Dogs, excited, Kyle?
So this is another trailer where I feel like there's a weird story behind the trailer that we have to acknowledge. Is that like, hey, this game's been delayed a lot. We learned this week it's coming out in May, when this was supposed to be a launch game for next gen. And so it kind of has a lot to answer for. Do you know what I mean? when you look at this trailer, it's like, okay, why were you delayed? Is basically what this trailer has to answer, and I'm not sure it does that.
Well, it feels a lot less next gen than when it debuted,
right?
Like years ago, which happens all the time with games. Brandon, I don't know if you'd agree with me, but this one reeks of let's make a game trailer that's like a movie trailer.
Sure.
This one feels a lot like that. I do like the calling cards back to some of the earlier stuff. Like you saw those like pollards, I think they're called, that popped up for the car crashes, which I still think is the best thing we've seen in the game is that car crash. The cell phone line's a little weird, but I think all like the blackout stuff is okay. Towards the end when he's killing that guy, is so bloodied and stuff, I felt a little confusing. I know right now people are saying this is going through a massive downgrade. I still think this looks really sweet, but it's lost a little bit of steam, even though I still really want to play it.
I think there definitely is.
That guy.
I think there definitely is an arc to how you get people excited about your game, and we had just seen so much of Watch Dogs by the time it got delayed that they just have lost steam. I don't think it has anything to do with the quality of the game. It's just that like we've already seen all of this. Like, what else are you gonna tell us? Like, either just vanish and then show up later and release your game, or keep the content interesting and relevant.
Can I call something right now?
Yeah,
See,
sure.
at the very end it says also coming to Wii U in 2014.
Wow.
Have you guys seen that Ubisoft is bringing back like hamsters and dogs? So it's going to be Watch Dogs with a Z for the Wii U. I'm calling it now. So
Via your tablet, you can care for small
you can
furry
pet it
animals.
on the yeah.
That's beautiful. That's really great. Hey, well, that my stock went up in this game a little bit, actually. But I think this trailer should have come out earlier. It's nice to see every trailer that they've had for this game has always been like, hey, I'm an announcer. Let me tell you about the cool things that you can do in Watch Dogs. Or, hey, I'm some security officer watching these security tapes, and hey, there's this guy, Pearce, that we need to arrest, and I'm going to tell you about all the stuff that's going on here. And so I appreciate just hearing it from him, from his friends, like what they're actually doing, like why... I think it was like 6 or 7 trailers of him just being like, oh man, I'm pissed. Oh boy. Oh man, I want to hack some stuff. You're like, why? I need some more context there. And even just like seeing the gravestone, it's like, oh, okay, I get that. That makes sense.
He's got a dead daughter. Okay.
But, yeah, I don't know. I'm liking this trailer less and less as I'm talking to you guys.
8.7.
Is there any hope for this game?
Whoa, you just rated it already.
Is that official, or you just...
Yeah, no, I thought it was a good trailer.
I think there is hope for this.
It's evocative even if it's not crazy, and I think on its core fundamental things are really speaking to me.
Right, there's enough different about it still. This is still a new game, even though it feels way old. It's still not like any game we've played before.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, right.
I saw that it got a release date, but I didn't see when. When are we?
What'd you say, June, right?
It's May.
May, sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this game needs to come out right now.
Yeah.
They really are running out of opportunities to show us stuff that we haven't seen before. So, I don't know, 7, 8, I'd give it. I did get excited, though. Like, there were points in this where I got a little bit of a thrill. Like this, that little bit right there where he's like, we got to get out of here. How are we going to do that? And then, I'll shut the whole city down. But, like, again, we've already seen him do that, so we just need to play it.
This is weird for me. Basically, it suggests that, like, a score can change over time. I would have rated this higher at E3 last year. Today, I give it a 6.5.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. Poor trailer.
Well, that's the 3 trailers that I liked the most this week. There's also some pretty good stuff. Originally, I wanted to show you guys Crawl, which just got greenlit, I guess, and is going to be on Steam.
The Crawl trailer is so worth watching. It's if arcade games had like television commercials in the 80s, it would have been like this. I mean, maybe a little less tongue-in-cheek, but I thought it was a really fun trailer.
It kind of reminded me, it was a little more bonkers than Darkest Dungeon, but it kind of felt like that. It had a narrator talking about the experience. It's very educational. You just saw it for the first time, Kyle, before the show.
Yeah, Ryan's description of that was actually spot on perfect.
Should we stop talking about it?
We can. I put a link in the comments in the description this time, by the way.
For all these trailers? That's a lot of trailers.
Yeah.
Too many trailers?
The people demand it.
Yeah.
Too many trailers? All right. Trials Fusion, which I'm also a huge fan of Trials, got a new Ride-On trailer, which got some fun gameplay.
I couldn't tell what's new this time.
I think
there anything new?
I think it's taking a much more futuristic vibe.
Okay.
They went way out there. Four-player simultaneous co-op. That's got to be new, right?
No, they've had that.
Oh, okay.
I think I've played that in Trials before. But Trials is fun, so check that out if you haven't. And I think it's fascinating that we got a trailer for both Caffeine, which I hadn't heard of before, and we got a new trailer for Soma, which I had heard of, which is the people who made Amnesia.
And it's the same game.
It's the same. Well, it's the same trailer. Certainly, you got to watch these. And Kyle, you'd like the Caffeine trailer more because of the post-its.
Yeah.
And I liked the Soma trailer more just because I thought the voice acting was actually really good. And
the original Soma trailer is still really, really good.
Yeah, I think they've had a good campaign so far.
But yeah, it's like the same game. I like the kind of shoegaze music in Caffeine, though. Weird title.
Yeah, and weird. Again, Kyle was waiting for to see some alien action because they kind of tease that there's some people or some mean things or monsters that are happening on the ship, but of course they don't show you. But Caffeine and Soma, very similar trailers. Check those out and let us know in the comments which one of those you like more. And we'll be back next week to talk about. Oh wait, what? Oh, trailer of the week.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, it's Batman. What are we talking about? I mean,
Sure.
it wins.
Okay.
All right, we'll give it to Batman.
When there's a Batman trailer in the show, we're skipping that segment.
Yeah, okay.
Trailer of the week is
So
gone.
it has been written.
This is true.
So it shall be, my son.
Thanks for joining us, guys. And thank you so much for watching the show. Our viewership has actually been really good, and I've gotten lots of good comments on Twitter about it. So thank you so much for your kind words, and we'll be back next week. See you then.
Bye, everybody.